What's going on? I have an engine here that well, what do you think about pits in the cylinders, in the bores? Yeah. All right, let's dig into this here a minute. All right, so I got this thing on a deal, and it came with a lot of parts, and it seemed like a pretty good deal. It was in somebody's garage. It's a 340, 1971, and it was real dusty in the guy's garage, and it was dark in there, and it had a lot of dust, and it wasn't out in the weather. It was in a garage, and he looked like it had it covered up with something, but so I bought it, and it was a pretty good price. I just got it home, got it cleaned up, and I see now that there's some pitting in these cylinders. Can you guys see that? So, I mean, every one of them's got something going on. The other sides don't have that, okay? The other side of the board doesn't have that. And over on this side, same thing, okay? Yeah. I just couldn't see that in the guy's garage, and honestly, when you run your finger in there, you feel just a little bit, but not like this one. You don't feel that at all. A little bit you can feel, but I most of the power is generated in the first inch and a half. And yeah, I mean, some of these cylinders have definitely some pitting in those areas, but I've honed it. I've got a stone hone. I went in there 6 or 7 times and lubricated and stone honed it and tried to get it out best I could, and that's what's left. I mean, there's the worst of the worst is this one right here. If you can see that, where my thumb is, see that? Can you see that right there? That's the worst. Luckily, that's at the close enough to the bottom that you're not going to really it's not going to affect the power. The rest of it, I don't feel much. Very little bit, very little. So, this motor's already been bored 30 over. Came with 30 over forged pistons. And he told me it's sat for 20 years. So that's the problem. It's sat in a garage, covered up, and 20 years, somehow moisture has got in there and done this. But I wanted y'all's opinion of it. It's already bored 30 over, and I've already got a set of pistons, that came with the engine. And like flat top 340 pistons with valve reliefs cut in them. It's made by Seal Power pistons, which those things were dated back into the 90s. I looked them up. So I think this thing's been setting probably, I don't know. I guess all this was done in the 90s. And then it just sat around somebody's garage for 2 decades. But the cylinders don't feel that bad. But, it's not like fresh bore, that's for sure, So, I just, I'm thinking about just putting it together and just run it, see what it does, and do a compression test, and a couple compression tests after it's running. And I've already got a set of heads coming for it, and it's got a forged steel crank, a factory 340 steel crank. And, I don't know what, yeah, you could bore it all over again, but now you got to go in 40. I don't even know if they make 40 over pistons for a 340 or 60. then you start getting, or maybe it's going to be having overheating problems. I don't know. So, you know, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I don't know. I just want to see what you guys think about it. And anybody run into this before and ran a engine with, you know, I'm not going to say minimal, because it's quite a bit. It's not severe, but it's right in the middle. I've heard of engines worse than this. I just don't know how they ran, and, you know, how that went, you know. So if they had compression, if they leaked compression, if they ended up having a lot of blow-by, I don't know what those, I've never dealt with this. This is not the stuff I do. I would never put an engine, send it to the machine shop and get all this done and then turn around and, you know, go back to it 20 years later. You know, no, that's not what I do. If it goes to the machine shop, I'm getting ready to put it together. And most people are that way. But that's the situation. 71 340, pitted cylinders. But I think it's okay. I mean, I'm going to find out. So it's kind of a video. If you could follow me with this engine in the next few months, it'll be all together. And we'll see what it does. And I'll do a compression test. And we'll have this to go back to and remember what this looked like, and then we can think about what it's doing as a running engine. So, all right, well, there you have it. If you could like and subscribe, that helps me, and you know, to keep making these things. I wish it wasn't this situation, but it is interesting, and people will be curious in their application if they have a Chevy or Ford or another engine that's got the same kind of situation. They're going to be able to see how this is going to do. So I do have the main caps sitting over there on the table, and you know, I've got just about got it all to put it together with. It's not going to be a real radical engine. I've got a mild purple shaft, direct connection type camshaft for it, brand new, forged pistons, like I said. I ordered a set of aluminum heads yesterday, but they're just the Speedmaster heads, and which are fine. They're brand new, so they're going to work fine for this. So thank you very much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you much. Talk to you soon.